I think Luke mentioned it. We will start with all questions in English and finish in Spanish. That just eases our translation service here online. So we have head coach Jones and Giraldez. Jason, go ahead.
Jonah, thanks for speaking with us. Congratulations on the win. It seemed in the first 20 minutes and maybe the first 20 minutes of the second half, you were maybe controlling the game with the ball. Tara said defending with the ball. She was pretty happy about it. How did that play out? How did you manage to control those stages of the game in possession pretty thoroughly, I would say?
Yeah. For me, for today, the most important thing was to create that confidence, adjust the height of the midfield advance with Courtney and Heather. Today we put Hal as a number 6. So when we need more players in build-up, it just drop a little bit the position of Courtney and Heather, and I think they identify very well today in terms of height. When they have to be in pocket, when they had to drop and be in base, and for me the same thing for side-back players. For Paige and Gabby, for Paige and Gabby today, they did also a good job in terms of height. When they had to be low to create an option to receive the ball, when they had to be high to beat the opposing wing, it just adjust type of height that the team needs. And today I think we identify very well, especially inside, what we need to have the control of the game.
And out of possession, 2 goals in those phases, McKenna's goal and then Lena's at the end. How rewarding is that to see the team manufacturing goals when 5 seconds before that you're not even on the ball?
Yeah, I think we create a lot of chances. The first 35 minutes in the beginning of the game, we create a lot of chances. We were not clinical sometimes because the decision to shoot or put the ball into the box was not good enough. But then I think we keep insisting. We were creating a lot of chances playing in base, and after that out directly with the outside players to go forward. So it's very important. One of the keys in the beginning of the game is try to connect the environment, supporters. In Audi Field, for us, they are going to be very important for playoff. And have a good starting. When you create chances, when you win, when you are winning tackles, when you have to celebrate. When you create corners, so for me it's a good point to start, to connect the people, because it depends on us. If we create chances, they are going to be more connected. So we are going to need them. They are going to be the player number 12. So I think we had a good starting, and the second half we start really good too. We have to keep going.
Okay, man, we'll finish in Spanish. We're going to start with the English. Oh.
So I am sick, no worries, it's not what the solution for today. Thank you. I drink a lot today, so.
Jonah, with Rosamond and McKenna just coming into the team and having such a big influence today, McKenna with 2 goals, Rosamond with an assist, and then winning the penalty. Just how important is it for kind of them to find form with some attackers still out with injury, obviously Trinity returning from the bench today, but just at this stage of the season, seeing them start to just contribute even more and get on the score sheet?
They did a good job today. Usually we play with the left winger coming inside to pocket, but today we thought that the best for the team was play with the wingers open. We had to modify. The other day people were asking to me about, after Andy's injury, what do we have to do different now? And we are proving having solutions in terms of build-up especially. And when you can create chances in the way that you expect before the game, with Rose, with McKenna, get in the box and create it out of 1v1 situation in the side, we did a good job. When you score, you always say, okay, you did a good job because you scored. But for me, in possession, out of possession, they did a good job today. It was not easy, especially out of possession, because they were modifying all the time, build up the structure, the shape, sometimes holding midfielder, dropping wide, sometimes playing with 3, other times with 4. It was hard, but we were smart enough to play against them. So I need options. Maybe for starting, the last game we were not playing with Trim, but the team is playing very well. So for me, when you have so many players available to compete as they did today, I'm happy for that.
And then just making the players kind of reacting to those adjustments. And I know you mentioned coming into the week, kind of viewing this as an opportunity, hoping the players kind of viewed it as the same way. Just how did you see this team kind of come together and put on not just a result, but a kind of comprehensive performance today? In a time where you're coming home after a 3-game road stretch and kind of important to generate that momentum entering the playoffs.
Yeah, we were playing the last 3 games in a row away, and today, after the game against Orlando, I was speaking about that game that we did. For me, we did a good job, and we have to keep believing in the way that we are practicing in training session, in the way that we are competing as we did today, and having a good starting. For me, sometimes it's about the mentality. How can you face that after bad news? In the beginning, August and September, I was remember, okay, too many good news, right? Now, when you have bad news, you have to face your best and give your best. It's just not about having intensity. The players have intensity. It's about the mental preparation. Keep respecting the game plan, giving your best in each 50-50, keep insisting, especially when we play at home, because the supporters, we know that they are very important. We did nothing so far. We need to keep building, and the next week we are going to have a tough game against Chicago, so this is the way that we have to face again Chicago.
Coach, this team started very well, has maintained consistency all through, are in the playoffs. You have experience of building championship teams. Does this look like a championship team to you? And what kind of levels do they have to hit to bring that championship back here?
We need to improve. We are not going to win if we just play as we did today. We have to keep building. I think in the first half we did that. It was not perfect because we had lack of decision, especially in the last 30 meters. Sometimes we shot when we had to make more passes. Sometimes we put the ball into the box when we have other passes to be more compact and be aware for the second ball in case of that we lose the ball. And the second half, they create chances. They create 2-3 clear chances. So we have to analyze after the game what we did in the right direction, what we have to improve, and face the week as we always do. This is a good job, but we have to keep improving on that. And now we have a clean week to keep practicing in trainings, everything in terms of soccer and game plan, and prepare the team for the future. I never like to say when you win, okay, you did a good job. When you win, you have to analyze what you did bad and put a focus on that, especially in the week. For me, I always did on my past. It's my methodology. I consider that that's the best for the team. Just not pay too much attention to the result. For sure, we are here to win, but we have to improve the individual performance and the collective performance. So the next week is going to be the same week as we did after the Orlando's game.
And how important is getting home field advantage for you and your team?
It's very, very important. When you win, when you get 3 points, when you score 4 goals, when you create, I think, around 19 shoots during the game, you have to celebrate the victory. And we have to share in the end of the game with the supporters, signing and taking pictures. That is very important because when you are training so hard in the way that we are training, and after losing the game and after Andy's injury, we need good news. So show the performance that we showed today is going to give us the confidence that we are going to need for the future.
Thank you.
Go back to Peyton.
Hi, Coach. I was wondering if you could speak to Esme Morgan's performance and how she's been integrating into this team, as you said. Esme Morgan.
Okay.
Has been in a few places across that back line. Today we saw her with Tara at center back, kind of how that and like moving along, how the relationships along the back line have developed and like how you've seen her integrating with that group.
For me, she can play in 3 positions. Against Orlando, she was playing in the beginning the right back position, but build up with 3. So it's the role that she can do. And today she was playing as center left back with Tara. She's doing a good job. The adaptation from the beginning is being good. She's a good person. She's nice. The players had a good welcome with her. And when you are happy, when you are integrated, when you speak the same language, that is easier for her to adapt. And she's very smart, especially in possession. build up situations. She commit mistakes, but she's not committing a lot of mistakes doing build up. So that's very difficult, especially when you try to play inside. When you try to play inside and you are getting success every time that you play inside, it's because the level that she has is really, really high. We are putting the focus out of possession in the way that we have to defend, because in the past, you know, playing for Man City, for the national team too, they like it to have a good build-up situation and, you know, with other players just ready to run behind. But here you need to be consistent, especially when you lose the ball, in terms of aggressivity, in terms of when you have to jump, when you have to bump, when you have to run back. I'm very happy so far with the performance that she's having, but as the same as I was saying before about the team, we need to keep improving her for the most important games in the season.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Andre?
And Jonah, congrats on the win, and thanks for speaking with us. A lot of the players post-game said that this was for Andy, that they were playing for Andy, and that's obviously a good sentiment, and everybody's sad about what happened. But how do you, as a coach, make sure that they can continue to put on performances like this without that kind of, without that feeling that they had of having to play for Andy, or is that something that can propel the team throughout the rest of the playoffs?
Because we have players to compete. We have important players. For example, Heather and Courtney, they did a brilliant job playing in pocket and base. Hal had a different role today, playing as a 6, and she did a perfect job for me in possession and out of possession. We have other players available to modify their role. What I like, usually when you are living in a complex system, as a human being, as an athlete, you need to occupy now different build that we are not going to have with Andy. You know, we need that leadership with other players. We need to have a good communication because we don't have Andy. So other players need to make a step forward in terms of tactical planning. The same thing. We need other players now take the responsibility in possession and out of possession to make sure that we are feeling comfortable because we train for that. I never like to, when you have your starting 11 and you are always using the same starting 11, when you are not giving too much confidence to other ones. But I think so far personally, I was giving too many chances to other players to play because you never know. If you are going to play, Lina, for example, only played 10 minutes, but she scored the last goal. McKenna was not playing the start in the last games, but today she played and she scored two goals. So we need the whole team to keep competing until the end because you are not going to win with just 11, 12, or 13 players. You are going to win with the whole team.
And you mentioned it in your response there about Hal playing in the 6th position. She played that a lot at Clemson. I watched a few of her games, and it looked very similar to what she did, kind of staying back and facilitating play. How would you assess her game, both in possession and out of possession?
She doesn't have to run so much. She has an amazing energy, and sometimes she needs to be just waiting for the ball. And today, especially, she needs that, be between the other striker, just behind them, be ready to be an option to receive, scan before receiving the ball, to play 1-2 touches, because it's a dangerous position if you lose the ball. And especially because we have Heather and Courtney close, just dropping. So for me today, for Hal, before the game we were discussing about it, she needs to be aware about who is around her to make sure that she's going to be in the place all the time that center back needs. And also in the last meters, because the last games we were asking to her, you have to get, you have to ride to the box and try to create chances. But today, just making a good rest defense, be aware of that. How you are in a good position. If we lose the ball, how can we regain the ball possession? So it's be more static. I think we are going to help her a lot because we need that energy, but sometimes, not all the time. So playing as a 6, you need to reduce the tempo and make sure that everything what you are doing in possession especially is being in the right direction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll go over to Luis.
Coach, buenas noches, felicidades por la victoria.
Gracias.
Quiero que me hables un poco, lo hablamos la otra vez en Zoom y me habías comentado que venían unos cambios, ¿no? Que tenías que hacer un ajuste por la falta de jugadores. Quiero que me hables de esos ajustes que hiciste en la noche de hoy y con qué sensaciones, ¿verdad? Y con qué aspectos positivos te quedas del partido de esta noche.
Bueno, hemos cambiado la estructura en ataque y también en defensa. En defensa más obligado por cómo jugaban ellas, sobre todo en inicio. Pero a nivel ofensivo por la disponibilidad de las jugadoras que teníamos. Hoy hemos jugado con 2 extremos abiertas, que eran McKenna y Rose. Hemos jugado con una jugadora en base, 2 jugadoras en cuadrado. Y creo que hemos estado bastante bien en ese sentido. Esta adaptación para el día de hoy necesitábamos por el perfil de jugadoras, por el tipo de partido que teníamos delante, jugar como hemos jugado hoy. Creo que la lectura es positiva. Hay cosas que podemos hacer mejor, por supuesto, pero mañana será día ya de analizar el qué para poder mostrar a las jugadoras y seguir creciendo, evolucionando como equipo.
Háblame de rendimiento de McKenna. Esta noche, ¿verdad? La pusiste de inicial y te respondió con 2 goles. Y lo mismo que has dicho siempre, ¿no? Las jugadoras tienen que estar claras que con la falta de jugadoras todas tienen que estar disponibles para competir porque en algún momento tienen que salir a la cancha.
Sí, ha hecho buen partido, no solo por los goles. Creo que el primer gol que marca es de una buena fase defensiva. Le pedíamos que saltase a la central externa y ha identificado muy bien y ha podido interceptar ese balón. Por tanto, no solo quiero destacar o premiar, sé que el MVP normalmente se le da por, ¿no?, quién marca más goles, quién es la más determinante, pero yo quiero destacar la fase defensiva. Ha hecho un muy buen trabajo, lo que necesitábamos para el día de hoy. Y todas las jugadoras que vienen del banco son importantes. No es un tópico, es una realidad. Necesitamos todas las jugadoras porque nunca sabes cuándo vas a jugar y todas tienen que sentirse importantes. Hoy otras jugadoras han tenido la oportunidad y bueno, satisfactoriamente hemos conseguido la victoria.
Coach, pues es realmente admirable el día de hoy. Sabemos que no te sientes bien, pero te llevaste este 4-1. ¿Cuál es la mentalidad que tú tienes al entrar a enfrentarte en un partido que ya están ustedes llegando aquí a los playoffs? ¿Cómo es que tú te preparas mentalmente para estar preparado para esta batalla?
Pues siempre con optimismo, con motivación, e intentando anticipar todos los escenarios que puedan suceder durante el partido, intentando acertar con el mensaje que le doy a las jugadoras, intentando acertar en la alineación, en los cambios, en la lectura de lo que está pasando en el partido. Creo que es importante estar concentrado antes del partido, durante el partido y también te diría después del partido. Hay que celebrar, pero no tanto. Hay que celebrar porque conseguimos una victoria, pero mañana tenemos, siempre digo, 24 horas, ¿no?, de celebración o de tristeza en función del resultado, pero ya remontar y volver para seguir entrenando y seguir compitiendo. Hasta ahora estamos bien porque estamos en esa segunda posición que nos da ventaja. El primer partido de los playoffs lo jugaremos en casa, pero queremos más. Es un equipo ambicioso y creo que es lo que tenemos que transmitir.
Hiciste el cambio y entró Silano. ¿Qué opinas de ese último gol que ella hizo?
Bueno, siempre nos da mucha intensidad, mucha energía. Notaba el equipo que ya no estaba recuperando tantos balones en campo contrario y creía que nos podía dar un poquito más. McKenna ya estaba cansada, Hachi estaba bien de piernas, la notaba fresca para seguir defendiendo y para seguir corriendo. Y Lina nos da eso, nos da mucha intensidad, mucha energía. Sabes que en situaciones de espaldas puede recibir. Ha estado lista, identificando ese balón que ha recuperado. Estoy muy contento por ella. Porque no es una temporada sencilla por los minutos que está teniendo, pero siempre está con buena cara, con buena actitud, siempre ayudando al equipo, buena compañera. Tiene un comportamiento ejemplar y estoy muy contento por el gol que ha marcado hoy.
Ese segundo gol de McKenna Morris, ¿fue algo que ustedes habían preparado en los entrenamientos?
Bueno, todo lo que pasa en el juego depende exclusivamente del talento de las jugadoras. Yo como entrenador intento ayudarlas para que de alguna manera estén en el lugar que tienen que estar y que después puedan resolver las situaciones que se plantean. No hay que confundirse, nosotros las ayudamos entrenando, las ayudamos con vídeo, las ayudamos en el mensaje que le damos antes del partido. Hoy por el perfil de partido necesitábamos que las extremos tuviesen llegada a segundo palo y tuviesen situaciones de 1 contra 1, lo hicieron, pero al final las jugadoras son las que resuelven y hoy creo que lo han hecho muy bien.
¿Qué opinas del gol que metió Sears en el minuto 72 por parte de Racing Double?
Bueno, no me ha gustado, obviamente, porque teníamos el partido controlado, pero me ha gustado la reacción del equipo. Eso sí, después de ese gol encajado, en lugar de venirnos abajo, hemos tenido personalidad otra vez para seguir jugando. Creo que ha sido el rato del partido que más posesión hemos tenido. Entonces creo que eso es muy buena señal, de no esconderse, de seguir asumiendo riesgos controlados en salida para tener esa confianza con balón que creo que hoy hemos tenido.
Chicago Reds es el próximo partido. ¿Cómo te sientes enfrentarlas aquí en casa?
Tenemos ganas de que llegue ese partido, pero primero es disfrutar de la victoria de hoy y ya durante la semana tendremos tiempo para preparar ese partido.
We'll go Mario and then finish up with Luis.
Hola, Jonah. Felicitaciones de la victoria. Solo quería preguntar, después de 3 partidos fuera de casa, ¿cómo te sientes de tener 2 partidos aquí en casa ya para terminar la temporada? ¿Y cómo está la confianza del equipo ya con esta victoria esta noche, ya pensando en los playoffs?
Teníamos muchas ganas de jugar en el Audi Field porque bueno, yo creo mucho en la conexión entre las jugadoras, el staff, la afición. Generar una buena atmósfera en casa creo que es clave. Por mi experiencia, creo que es una de las cosas más importantes, porque creo que está relacionado. Si tú creas ocasiones, si tú marcas goles, si tú ganas partidos, la gente está contenta, la gente te anima. Entonces, cuando tienes una situación de adversidad, la gente va a estar ahí. Y creo que hemos tenido muy buena entrada hoy. Hemos entrado muy bien al partido, hemos creado muchas ocasiones, hemos marcado goles, la gente creo que se ha divertido. Por tanto, bueno, el hecho de jugar en casa nos da eso, que podamos seguir conectando a la gente. Para mí es fundamental, creo que se están consiguiendo cosas importantes. También desde marketing se está consiguiendo que la gente venga al estadio, se está haciendo un buen trabajo en todas las áreas. Y las protagonistas tienen que darles motivos, ¿no? Como digo yo, cada semana para que la gente siga viniendo al estadio, siga disfrutando, siga apoyando al equipo, para que juntos podamos conseguir cosas importantes.
Hablando de la conexión con la afición, ¿qué es la importancia de tener partidos de playoffs aquí en casa, ya jugando enfrente de tu afición en esa etapa en este tipo de juegos?
Bueno, considero que siempre tienes algo de ventaja, por eso al final clasificar lo más arriba posible nos va a permitir eso. Y ahora mismo dependemos de nosotras, en función de cuántos partidos queremos jugar los playoffs en casa. Creo que es un punto muy importante a tener en cuenta. Pero a mí nunca me gusta poner la mirada más allá de un día vista. Ahora mismo es disfrutar de este partido y mañana prepararnos para el siguiente partido. Creo que sería un gran error por mi parte pensar en los playoffs. Ahora lo que hay que pensar es seguir mejorando como equipo. Cada jugador a nivel individual, ¿qué nos puede dar? ¿En qué podemos mejorar? ¿Con balón? ¿Sin balón? Creo que esto es fundamental. Creo que pensar en los playoffs te distrae. Entonces ahora mismo es tiempo de disfrutar, pensar en el siguiente partido, que es el futuro cercano. Ahora mismo para mí es lo más importante.
Gracias.
Nada.
And Luis, wrap us up.
Coach, me había comentado, ¿verdad?, sobre la mentalidad de que el equipo tiene que estar preparado para el momento en que se ha llamado. O sea, hemos hablado muchas veces de la mentalidad que le ha implementado este equipo, ¿no? Desde el área del juego en la cancha, desde el área mental, ahora en esta área también. O sea, qué tan importante es dejarle saber al equipo, a todas, que todas son importantes y que cada cual va a tener una noche especial.
Entrenando. De la manera que tú entrenas, pues luego vas a tener más opciones que el partido, lo afrontes de la manera que toca. Me gusta mucho que la atención el día a día esté en el entrenamiento, en qué quieres trabajar ese día, cómo puedes mejorar, competir. Y después, pues competir también en otras cosas. Ya no es solo jugar bien, es ser inteligente, ¿no? Cuando hay un saque de banda, un balón dividido, cómo provocar una falta. Bueno, hay cosas, ¿no?, que entre líneas pues también podemos mejorar en temas de ser competitivas y que estamos trabajando también. Al final, cuando analizas el juego, lo tienes que analizar en todas sus vertientes. La jugadora depende no solo de cómo esté físicamente, depende de la posición en el campo, depende a nivel emocional como usted, de cómo gestione sus emociones, depende de muchísimas cosas. Intentamos, pues con toda la gente que estamos trabajando alrededor, pues que las podamos ayudar para que pueda rendir después en el partido y que podamos disfrutar como hemos disfrutado hoy.
Buenas noches y que mejores pronto.
Gracias, eso espero. Llevo 3 días así ya.
Thank you, Jonesy. Thank you, everyone. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back with Hal Hirschfeld,
Have a good
Morris,
night.
and Ashley Hatch. have Hal Hirschfeld, Ashley Hatch, and McKenna Morris. Jason, take us away. Oh, Luis, start us off, and we'll go to Jason.
This question is for all. You know, how are you feeling after winning this match? And another one is, what do you think is the key for winning tonight?
We are thrilled to obviously win this match. To be back in front of our home fans has been really exciting, and I think the key to this match was just everyone stepping up and doing their best. Obviously, scoring goals nice and early really helps, but yeah, I think a lot of individuals stepped up today and played really well, and we played well as a unit, so I think we need to continue to build that.
How important is come back at home before the all 3 games for away?
Obviously, I think just playing in front of our fans is such like a great thing to have for us. It gives us energy on the field. I know all of us feel so much better when we're at home, being able to put it all out there for our home fans. But yeah, the 3-game away stint was hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard like mentally. We've had a trip like that before in the past, and it is just as hard, even though we got to kind of have pit stops in between these games at home. But yeah, it was really nice to be back.
Thanks for speaking with us. Congrats on the win. Hal, I wanted to ask you first, the changes in the midfield shape without Andy. Jonah talked about it. We talked to Tara about the relationships that have to be modified a little bit. How do you think that aspect of things went from your perspective, given that you're right in the middle of it?
I thought that we had a lot of, obviously like 2 out of the 3 in the midfield today were new, and I think that those people stepped up. Heather and Courtney, I thought they did a phenomenal job. It definitely is so different not having Andy there. I mean, that's like my base buddy. I miss her a lot, and I know she's going to be out this season, so we honestly just have to, it's a pivotal point in the season, like playoffs and everything, so it's just getting all of us to step up in the midfield.
McKenna, I wanted to ask about both goals, but especially the first goal. It seems like this whole year it's been a point of emphasis to win the ball back out of possession. This was obviously kind of a weird one, blocking a clearance, but it still ends up being a big play on your part. What did you see that allowed you to sort of make that interception? Was there something maybe that you'd noticed in their build out or something like that, or was it just in the moment seeing, you know, her look this way and get in the way?
Yeah, I think our coaches do a really good job of prepping us before games, and so for me it was just following the game plan and being able to follow what the coaches give us, and so in that moment I knew where I had to be and I was able to just win the ball. Yeah.
Then smash it in.
I know, that was crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that finish because I was just, it seemed a little angry. What was the thought process of just like, I'm going to hit it and the goalkeeper's either going to lose a hand or it's going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it was a rocket. I saw the near post open, and obviously I saw she was coming kind of across, so I was like, okay, if I hit it as hard as I can in the near post, hopefully she can't get there.
You're right. Also wanted to ask about Hal, McKenna, Go Tigers. This was kind of a vintage Clemson performance. We had Hal at the 6, McKenna scoring a brace. Did you kind of think this was something that you could replicate when you were drafted together as well? Did you think this was something that was a possibility playing for the Spirit?
I mean, I'm just gonna confidently say yes.
Very confident.
I'm like yes, but I personally always love playing with McKenna. She's such a dynamic player, especially when she gets the freedom up top. So it's just been really cool to come from college together to here, just seeing like both of us like flourish in this environment, and I feel like they honestly give us the tools to do that here. Like our teammates and our coaches, I think they give us what they need to really do that. So.
Yeah, and I'll second that. I mean, going from college to here, seeing how much Hal has grown and absolutely dominated in the midfield, just whenever we get a chance to play with each other, there's just a connection there. So I think for us, it was just going from college to here, taking that step, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and for Ashley, I wanted to ask you, because we talked to Aubrey in the mixed zone, and she talked about playing for Andy, and she said this kind of reminds her of 2021 when you were kind of playing for Tori Huster. You were there for that as well. Is it kind of a similar vibe, and is that something you think you can kind of replicate from kind of here throughout the season, but also throughout the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. I've thought about that as well. Tori, her injury kind of came at a very unfortunate time. Very big key player for us. Same thing with Andy, and and we wouldn't be where we are now without Andy. So I think it's only right to continue to play for her and to work hard for her, because we all know that she would die to be able to play in these playoff games, and so it definitely gives us a little bit extra motivation to do it for her. And yeah, I would definitely say some of those feelings are the same from 2021.
Thank you. Appreciate it, and congrats on the win.
Good evening. Congratulations on the win. The question's for all three of you. What is the importance of having a home advantage into the playoffs?
I mean, I think it's such a huge advantage. I mean, today is kind of a demonstration of what we do at home. So I think for us, it's just setting an example of what we like to do at home going into playoffs. And I mean, everyone loves to play in front of the DC fans. Our team loves it. I mean, the fans are amazing. So it's a great, advantage for us to be able to play at home.
Hi. First of all, to Hal, I was interested when Jonah said post-game something to the effect of you having a lot of energy and having to work with that, and sort of telling you, when to dial it down, when to step it up. I'm curious what it's like, in your head for all of that. Like, how much of a dial and a switch is there? Because I feel like you play with a lot of intensity. Like, how are you usually able to dial that back or dial it up depending on the situation?
I've definitely had to learn how to pick and choose my moments to dial it up. I think a lot, especially with my position in the midfield, I feel like it takes a lot of positional discipline. Sometimes, especially tonight when I'm playing a single six. So when I do play with too much energy, sometimes I could find myself in an area where I shouldn't be, and then I have to run 70, 80 yards back instead of 20, So just picking and choosing my moments when to use that intensity. I feel like out of possession I can use it to win the ball back, but when I'm in possession I gotta make good decisions. So just a balance.
And then Ashley, 150. That's quite a lot of caps. What do you feel like has been the most important thing for sort of being able to get to this milestone?
That's a really good question. I think a lot of these appearances have obviously been with the spirit. So mostly my teammates kind of just helping me, supporting me throughout all the ups and downs throughout the years. There's been lots of highs and lots of lows. I think technical staff, but also medical team just helping me stay healthy and be available for all these games. So lots of people, my family, my husband supporting me through everything. So lots of people to give credit to that have helped me get to this milestone.
And lastly, where is that big picture frame going to be?
I'm not sure yet. It's probably somewhere on the wall, but I'm not sure yet.
All right, we'll go with Jimena and then wrap up with Jason.
Okay, ladies, this question is for all of you. I spoke with Aubrey early, and she said that she's ready to win this championship. Are you ready to win the championship?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Easiest question of the night.
For sure.
Yes.
And how is to go back to the frame for Ashley? There is a specific moment. There is a lot of children that they're playing football, and sometimes they're feeling like give up, and they want to be like you. They want to score goals like tonight, like you, Makina. And so when you have a frame like this and you have 150 appearances, what you can say to these younger children that they're playing and they feel like give up, what is your best advice for those children?
Wow, that's a really good question. Honestly, I would say my best advice for these children is to not give up. When I look at this frame, I often think about all the obstacles that I overcame, all the challenges, injuries, not starting, losing. Honestly, I think a lot more about the challenges than I do all the victories and the person that I've become because of those challenges and overcoming them. So I would tell them not to give up. to just see this challenge that they're going through as an opportunity to learn and to grow, because the lessons that you learn through those challenges of wanting to give up and choosing not to are going to be lessons that you'll take on in life, not only in football. So that would be my advice, and I've learned that lesson over and over, and I'm sure I'll continue to learn it, but that's definitely my advice.
We'll wrap up with Jason.
This is really for any of you, but obviously this was a challenging week, losing Andy and the nature of the way that went down. Tara and Aubrey both mentioned that there was a players meeting. You really talked through it. What were the keys from that meeting that allowed you to sort of get through such a negative development without necessarily getting stuck dwelling on it or that kind of thing where it sort of bleeds into the next game and onward?
I think Andy is such a special person for our team, and on and off the field, she's just such a special human being. Like, she's amazing. So I think for all of us, we were so heartbroken and sad for her, but it's also the energy like she constantly brings whenever she is out on the field, that for us it was like, how do we embody that? Like, how can we continue to play for Andy and turn that sadness into like a moment of us bringing ourselves together and playing for Andy and for Croy and all the other people that are hurt. So I think for us it was kind of like, let's play for them, for those who can't, and let's give our all in every game, because I know if Andy was out here, if Croy was out here, Savannah, Anna, and all of them, they would be giving their absolute all. So for us, it was just embodying that.
And the last one for me would be, Jonah mentioned that Louisville was kind of changing a lot in how they approached the game. During the game, it seemed like there was a phase where they were playing out of a back three, and then they went back to a four again. How was that to sort of, one, have to adjust your system coming into this game, and then on top of that, play an opponent that is constantly toggling things and trying to give different looks to you?
First of all, I feel like that's like a compliment to us. Like, our game plan was very successful. And I feel like, honestly, like, we have, in practice, in meetings, stuff like that, we've kind of all, like, even Jonah talks about it, not everything's going to be on, like, the whiteboard when we talk about it, like, in pregame meetings and stuff like that. So kind of dealing with it, like, on the fly. Like, yes, we have their help on the sideline, but, like, at the end of the day, like, we have to talk to each other and kind of come up with solutions sometimes.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. We will see you back here next week.
Good job, ladies. You all did such a good job.
You too, girl.